I don't think it would be a surprise if I said to anybody, this Ripple versus SEC case is by far the craziest thing that happened to XRP over the last couple of years. And I'd say that most people banked on the idea that XRP settling or this lawsuit concluding would be the craziest thing ever for the price. And then when the price went to 95 cents and came back down, people were let down a bit. And right now, there's two things to look out for, right? We've got the settlement proposal and the jury. But to be a bit more specific, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what some lawyers are thinking about the situation right now. And I want to start out with Brett Hill, who said, updating, confirming reports that Ripple and the SEC are currently engaged in settlement discussions after a meeting between Ripple and Congress. But the thing is, guys, we already knew that, you know? We already knew they were going to have to get at least one meeting going where they discuss some sort of settlement, as that was described in the judge's order from, I believe, this week still. I'm not so sure exactly when she put this order up, all the way towards the bottom. If we scroll down a little bit, I have a mouse, I can do that real quick. You can see right here, they have to go for at least an hour of discussion with regards to settlement. But because none of us are lawyers, okay, some of you guys are lawyers, but I'm not. Let's ask Jeremy Hogan, a very well-known lawyer in the XRP community, for his opinion on the matter. And I'm asking you guys to go ahead and press that like button. There we go. So if you've not done it yet, I'll give you 2 seconds and let's dive right in. Jeremy says, I'm seeing some confusion as to what could happen next in the Ripple versus SEC case now that the judge denied an interlocutory appeal. So I have outlined every possibility and provided the exact chance of each possibility happening and how long each would take. Exactly. So, overview. The judge issued a summary judgment and denied an early appeal. The SEC has a 100% right to appeal when the whole case is finished, and that will happen when there is a final judgment. As you will see, the SEC has no real good options. Possibility number 1. The SEC moves forward with trial next April against the individual defendants. The chance is about 40%. The judge has left only the hardest part of the case for trial. The SEC could easily take an L at trial and have some of its dirty laundry aired at the same time. If the SEC goes to trial, an appeal of the case won't be filed until 2025. And that means an appellate ruling likely won't come out until 2026. So if we're talking about future scenarios in which things are changed, right? Because there's no interlocutory appeal, this means it's going to take another 3 or so years for anything with regards to XRP now and the current status to be changed. But that also means that if the SEC takes an L in trial next year or in a couple of months from now, it's going to be very hard for them to recover from that, guys. It's going to be extremely hard. Then, even if the SEC wins on that appeal, the case would most likely be remanded back to Judge 𝗬𝗓 for further litigation. Because again, the court also did not reach other arguments such as whether defendants are entitled to summary judgment on offers and sales of foreign exchanges and defendants' fair notice defenses as to programmatic sales and other distributions. If the order were reversed and the case remanded, the court may consider some of these questions in the first instance, even though now they were not necessary. So that would make things way more difficult even. So the SEC wants to push the entire case to trial and then appeal the parts of the judgment against Ripple it doesn't like. Fair enough. But the most likely outcome is that situation is a final resolution in the situation in 2027. June 14th, 2027 to be exact. Good luck with that, because in the meantime, XRP is most likely, in my opinion, not finished advice, going to go to $50,000. Okay, let's just say realistically, $20, $25. So Ripple's war chest will definitely have been added to by that time, which is kind of interesting to think about. Possibility number 2. Well, the SEC could settle the case against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen and move forward with obtaining a final judgment against Ripple and then appeal. This is the SEC's best option, and for that reason, I doubt they do it, because of course, the SEC likes to go for the most just crazy type of actions. Settling out the individual defendants gets the SEC to an appellate court about 9 to 12 months faster and saves its resources and face by bypassing a very difficult and overreaching case. after settlement of the individuals, the case would go straight to remedies litigation. Remedies litigation still would require months and months to complete, which was part of the SEC's argument as to why it needed an early appeal, the intellectual appeal. This option would still go deep into 2026, to be specific, August 14th, 2026. And the third option would be SEC settle all litigation against Ripple and all the individual defendants' parts. Yes, this could happen at a settlement conference such as required, but as we have seen, the SEC has shown very little desire to compromise thus far. Settlement is a good option for the SEC. It gets the public another win. So basically, in front, it looks like they won again because that's how they can claim it, like they did with the lawsuit outcome now against Ripple, and collect a big check from the bad guys, of course. The judge cleared this path for them by clarifying that her ruling only applies to the facts specific to XRP. So that was a little layup for their dunk. Now, the chances of this happening, though, are about 19 or so percent. The date for this would be the end of the year, or very specifically, the 21st of December of this year. Finally, something else I haven't thought of that could happen. Who knows? It's about a 8% chance of happening. I'm not sure why he chose these numbers so specifically. As you can see, the SEC has a couple of bad, lengthy options. Meanwhile, the summary judgment is the law of the land, and that can't even possibly change until 2026 at earliest. And sometimes I kind of wonder what would happen if somebody like Gary Gensler left the SEC. I mean, realistically speaking, Gary Gensler leaving would be, for most, a joyful experience, right? But I really wonder, would it get any better if he left? You might argue and say, of course, because he's a rat, he's a snake, he's a snake oil salesman. Yeah, but apparently so are all the others there. Is he really that much worse than other SEC members that we're not getting so much information about? Just something I've been thinking about. Is he inherently that much worse than the rest? And so if somebody were to replace him, I mean, he's not the one who brought the case against Ripple. Understand that. And yes, this man switched up on the entirety of crypto, but was it really his choice? Did he do it for the money? Or did he do it for the fame? Or was he instructed to do so and he had no choice? Something else. I felt nice today. So I'm giving you guys something here that I think is worth a lot. It's actually not mine. I didn't make it. I just stole it from the internet, like, most things nowadays. But I'm putting it in a video for you guys, so I'm still nice, I hope. Anyway, it's the crypto calendar for October. And as you can see, not sure where I was in my sentence, but anyway, here's the calendar for October. And you can see there's quite a lot of different things going on. You might want to screenshot this a couple of times. You might just want to head over to my Telegram, where I'll also post this for all of y'all to see. I might also put it in Discord if you guys remind me in the comment section. Otherwise, it's going to be available over on Telegram. And some of these are going to be completely stupid, you know? I mean, like, for example, Torn delisting. I've never heard of Torn. But perhaps for somebody, it's their biggest holding, so they really wanted to hear about this. And for example, the USPPI, okay, maybe that's nice. Maybe this flare drop claim is nice for people. Who knows, right? Or the Do-Kwon hearing. For some people, it probably means something. So I'm sharing it over in Telegram for all y'all to see. Please do with it as you want. And last but not least, I will tell you this one thing. At the end of the day, whatever happens in the Ripple case, the next bull run, we're most likely not going to be stopped by the SEC for any reason because they can't appeal quick enough. The whole case has to end for that. And if Ripple does go into some sort of settlement, they're not stupid. And so most likely whatever conclusion that they make will be beneficial to XRP and the holders. So if some news comes out in this lawsuit, I expect it to be either neutral because it doesn't hurt XRP holders, it doesn't gain them anything, positive because Ripple got another dub or some sort of settlement in a nice way, or a complete victory as Ripple just outright claims this, that, or the SEC gives up. Discount that option. But it's very, very hard to get a bad outcome because what exactly could bring that bad outcome, that I do not know. And so the moment the bull run comes around, guys, I honestly don't think there's anything that could stop XRP from going. I think there are a couple of things that could bring the bull market harder. You know, XRP spot ETFs would be pretty huge. We've started to see cool things like Deribit offering XRP options, which might have never happened had it not been for the SEC's quote-unquote victory, I should say Ripple's victory over the SEC. But perhaps things of that sort are going to be rolled out more and more as we've seen multiple companies now showcase interest in Ripple's technology or in XRP that wasn't there before. And perhaps some of these guys are also still waiting for Ripple to fully settle out the lawsuit. But hey, I'm pretty bullish, and I'd say that even though the price is not reflecting it, it's been one of the most exciting times, or better said, it's right now, I'd say, the most important point, or most exciting point for XRP, as the interest in crypto is at the all-time lowest, but the price is doing pretty well. And I'd say from almost any perspective I can think of, the only downside potential is Bitcoin falling, but for XRP, fundamentally, the biggest of fears has been gone, so there's really mostly only up from here. Those are my thoughts.